Good day, ma'am. My name is Analou Cardinas, DSHM 3A. I'm going to report Law on Sales, Agency, and Credit Transactions, Chapter 5. Learning Objectives. Describe and explain the nature of sales transactions. Identify the functions and operations of agencies in the industry. Identify ways of handling credit transactions. Topic outline. Introduction. Law on sales, characteristic of contract of sales, effect of loss of the object in a contract, sales of personal property payable and installment, double sale of the vendee, law on agency, liability of the principal and agent, simple loan or mutuum, conclusion. Law on sales. In the tourism, travel, and hospitality industry, agreements arising from contract will have to be made, and potential breach from these agreements will be encountered. A contract of sales is one of the usual contracts being encountered by the industry concerned. This will give you an overview of the different sales transactions which may be encountered, including the remedies of the parties concerned. Characteristics of a contract of sale. Number 1. Consensual. This means that a contract of sale is perfected by mere consent. No form is prescribed for the perfection in a contract of sale. Number 2. Bilateral, because it gives rise to reciprocal obligations. Number 3. Principal, because it can stand by itself without need of another contract. Number 4. Onerous, because the consideration for each party is the delivery of the thing or the payment of the price. Number 5. Cumulative, because what the vendor-seller delivers is considered equivalent of the price paid by the vendee buyer. Number 6. Nominate, because it has a designated name under the Civil Code of the Philippines, which is sale. Number 7. Transmissive of ownership, because the vendor transfers ownership of the subject matter to the vendee. The law. Article 1458. By the contract of sale, one of the contracting parties obligates himself to transfer ownership and to deliver a determinate thing, and other pay therefore a price certain in money or its equivalent. Sale of personal property payable installment. It is possible that in buying personal properties used for public transportation or delivery of goods, this provision will be useful for the contracting parties in case of sale of personal properties payable and installment. The law. Article 1484. In a contract of sale of personal property, the price of which is payable and installment, the vendor may exercise any of the following remedies. Number 1. Exact fulfillment of the obligation should the vendor fail to pay. Number 2. Cancel the sale should be the vendor failure to pay cover 2 or more installment. 3. Foreclose the chattel mortgage, the thing sold, if one has been constituted, should the vendor's failures to pay cover 2 or more installment. In this case, he shall have no further action against the purchaser to recover any unpaid balance of the price. Any agreement to the contrary shall be void. Double sale. Caution should be practiced by real estate developers engaging in the hotel industry, especially real property located in potential yet unexplored provinces. The principles on double sale will be useful in case an issue on a sale of a real property to different vendees shall be brought before the courts of law. Obligation of the vendor. The law. Article 1495. The vendor is bound to transfer the ownership of the deliverer as well as the warrant of things which is the object of the sale. Article 1496. The ownership of the thing sold is acquired by the vendor from the moment it is delivered to him. The things sold shall be understood as delivered when it is placed in the control and possessions of the vendor. Back to the retrosale conventional redemption. The law. Article 1601. Conventional redemption shall take place when the vendor reserves the right to repurchase the thing sold, with the obligation to comply with the provisions of Article 1616, the other stipulations which may have been agreed upon. Obligation of the vendee. The law. Article 1582. The vendee is bound to accept delivery and pay the price of the things sold at the time and place stipulated in the contract. Obligations of the vendee. The law. Article 1582. The vendee is bound to accept delivery and pay the price of the things sold at the time and place stipulated in the contract, action of which breach of contract of sale. The buyer need not pay unless there is delivery. The buyer may reject improper deliveries. The buyer may suspend payment if he disturbed the possession or ownership of the things or has reasonable grounds for fear such disturbance. Law-owned agency. The hotel, tourism, and hospitality industry cannot do away with agencies which will facilitate various transactions in dealing with third persons. Hence, there is a need to understand the operations of agencies working on behalf of the principal belonging in the hotel, tourism, and hospitality industry. The law. Article 1868. By the contract of the agency, a person binds himself to render some services, to do something in representation or on behalf of another with the consent of authority of the latter. A contract of agency is a relation in which a one person, the agent, acts on behalf of another with the authority of the latter. The principal, it is fiduciary relation which results from the manifestation of consent by one person that another shall act on former behalf and subject to his control with consent by the other, so to act of the agent will be binding his principal. The essential element of agency are: there is consent, expressed or implied. Number 2, the object is the execution or juridical act in relation to a third person. Number 3, the agent act as a representative and not for himself. And number 4, the agent act within the scope of his authority. An agency is distinguished from the list of work services in that the basis of agency is representation, while in the list of work or services such as architect, construction building worker, painter, professor, employees, and house helpers, the basis is employment. Liability of the principal and the agent. The law. Article 1883. If an agent acts in his own name, the principal has no right of action against the person with whom the agent has contracted, neither have such persons against the principal. In such case, the agent is the one directly bound in favor of the person with whom he has contracted, if the transactions were his own, except when the contract involved things belonging to the principals. When the agent transacts business in his own name, it shall not be necessary for him to state the name of the principal, and he shall be directly liable as if the business were for his own account to the persons with whom he transacts the same. Moreover, an agent is personally liable for acts beyond the scope of his authority and for acts in violation of the terms of the written authority. When it is clear that the agent is acting only on behalf of a disclosed principal, the agent cannot be held personally liable on the contract entered into a such manner. Simple loan or mutuum. The law. Article 1956. No interest shall be due unless it has been expressly stipulated in writing. In a contract of loan, if a particular rate of interest has been expressly stipulated by the parties, such as stipulated interest shall be applied. If the exact rate of interest is not mentioned, the legal rate shall be payable, which is 12% per annum under Section 1 of the Usury Law. It is only in contract of loan with or without security that interest may be stipulated and demanded. The debtor in delay is also liable to pay legal interest by way of indemnity for damages which legal interest may be agreed upon, and in the absence of any stipulations, the legal interest shall be 12% per annum. The first duty of society is justice, by Alexander Hamilton. In conclusion, Chapter 5, Law on Sales, Agency, and Credit Transaction, explain the rules for selling, how agents represent businesses, and how credit is used in business deals. Knowing these laws helps tourism and hospitality businesses handle sales, payment, and agreements properly, ensuring fair and legal transactions with customers and partners. That would be all for the Chapter 5. Thank you.